Words can't even describe how much I despise Nickelodeon these days. Nickelodeon is just rubbish crap these days. Absolutely garbage. And I can't even take one look at that channel anymore. I can't take one look because of all of the crappy shows they got on there. It's like, what happened to all the classic shows? Nickelodeon was like so awesome in the 90s. It's not even funny. It was like the best. And this used to be one of my favorite channels as a kid, but now it's probably one of the worst channels on TV right now. But that's my opinion. I mean, if you look at Nickelodeon back then and now, you'd be like, wow, Nickelodeon used to be so good back then. Like, what happened? I'll tell you what happened. They got rid of the classics for this stupid teeny bopper crap. That's what happened. Because that's what Nickelodeon is all about these days, the teeny bopper stuff. And that's not what they used to be about. It used to be all about, variety, the cartoons, everything. I don't even know what to say about Nickelodeon now. I really don't, but I just felt like I had to do this because it's been grating on my nerves for like the longest time. So Nickelodeon's been around for a long time. It's been around since if I'm not corrected, 1977. I think that's the right year, but yeah, 1977. Actually, it was originally called Pinwheel, but then they changed it to Nickelodeon, I think in 1984. Yep. And in that same year, we got the Nickelodeon, classic Nickelodeon logo, which I'll get to that later on about what happened to it. And yeah, Nickelodeon they were just playing like reruns of older cartoons in the 80s and like importing, Japanese shows. I think that's what they were. Yeah, and they didn't really start doing original programming until like the early 90s. I think 91 is when they started that with the whole Nicktoons thing, because that's when we first got Doug and Rugrats and Ren and Stimpy, and then they started making more and more of their own programming. But yeah, Nickelodeon. Oh man, back then we had so many Nicktoons. We had like Doug, Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life, Our Monsters, Kablam, Wild Thornberries, Cat Dog, Airy Beavers. Oh man, we had Bear Zim. We had As Told by Ginger. We had Pelswick. Probably don't remember that show, but I do. It didn't last long. But anyway, we had Rocket Power. We had that too. And cartoons. And yeah, we had a lot of Nicktoons back then compared to now. And they played reruns of other cartoons like Count Duckula, Danger Mouse, Alvin the Chipmunk reruns. They played the Alvin Show. They played Banana Man and The Adventures of Tintin. All the other cartoons. And then Nickelodeon started making live-action TV programs like Clarissa Explains It All, Secret World of Alex Mack, The Journey of Alice Strange, Key and Kel, Mystery Files of Shelby Woo, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Love that show. Adventures of Pete and Pete. I forget that show. Cousin Skeeter, 100 Deeds for Eddie McDowell. They had Taina, which I don't know why they canceled that after only one season. That was a good show. And we had the Brothers Garcia. We had Brown House. We had a lot of shows back then. And let's not forget the game shows like Double Dare, Super Sloppy Double Dare, Global Guts, Family Double Dare, You're On, Nick Arcade. Man, there was a lot of game shows. Wild and Crazy Kids. My mind's going blank. We had a lot of game shows actually. Oh, Legends of the Hidden Temple, What Would You Do? And yeah, we had a lot of game shows. We had a lot of different shows back then. That's what I miss about Nickelodeon these days. There's like no variety whatsoever. It's like the same 5 shows every day. And we have blocks like Nick in the Afternoon with Stick Stickly. How can anybody forget that? Then we had, which is no longer on the channel anymore, if you didn't know, Nick Jr., which they got rid of last year and made it to his own channel. But yeah, Nick Jr. had good shows like Eureka's Castle, Allegra's Window, Gullah Gullah Island, Little Bear, Franklin, Blue's Clues, Bubbles World, Dr. Seuss. We had The Elephant Show. There was Busy World, which is scary. We had a lot of good shows back then too. And there was, of course, Nick at Night, which completely sucks now. They it was made for like to show the old classic shows from the 50s, 60s, 70s, but as time went on, they kept showing newer shows, because then they went from 70s, 80s, 90s, and now they're showing shows from like 2000s, early 2000s, to like shows that recently got canceled, which makes no sense. Had to go from classics to stuff like Everybody's Chris and Malcolm in the Middle. That makes no sense whatsoever. But yeah, Nickelodeon these days is just blah. I mean, we got crap like iCarly, which should be called iCrap. Then we had True Jackson VP, just a clone of iCarly basically, kinda. Except it's all about fashion design stuff. Then we had stuff like the Little Romeo Show, which was just no. And we had H2O Just Add Water, which makes no sense. Then we had some show called Just for Kicks, and then Drake and Josh, a total ripoff of Kenan and Kel, or as I quote it, the white version of Kenan and Kel. That's what I kind of see it as. But anyway, and we got a lot of crappy cartoons now, like Back in the Barnyard and Penguins of Madagascar and the Mighty Bee, man, and Tack and the Power of Juju and the X's and some Yakety Yak. Some of these cartoons didn't even last long, and then have nowhere the good quality and entertainment of the older Nicktoons. And Jimmy Neutron, which I don't like that show. And then we had the Abomination All Grown Up, which totally ruined the original Rugrats. Did we really need to see them as teenagers? No, we did not. In my opinion, Nickelodeon went downhill around I say 2003-ish, around there, because that's when they started making the crappy cartoons, the crappy teen shows, and they got rid of Slime Time Live that year. I used to watch that every day. Then that same year they made All Grown Up, and I think around that time they closed Nickelodeon Studios. If you didn't know, Nickelodeon Studios was closed down, and that's where they used to film most of their old shows, like Clarissa and Gullah Gullah Island, all of those other shows, which I think sucks. And no more Nickelodeon Magazine, which sucks too. And I don't know what's going on with Nickelodeon these days, but I don't know, their quality has deteriorated. Their shows completely suck. They're trying to follow Disney with the stupid teeny bopper shows, and it's not what it used to be. It's not fun anymore. The shows aren't funny anymore. Their shows are just like, their cartoons are like kind of retarded, I gotta say. I mean, some of them are just plain stupid. Like the Mighty Bee, that's just dumb. Such a dumb cartoon. I mean, come on. Let's make quality programming here for these kids these days, because I really feel sorry for these kids these days, because they have to watch this crap. Yeah, they're watching stuff like Back in the Barnyard when they should be watching stuff like Rocco, which was a great cartoon. Good quality cartoon, but no. And another problem Nickelodeon had is canceling the good shows like Invader Zim. Why did they cancel that show? Why? Oh, it was too dark for kids. Okay, maybe some of the material was a little disturbing, but I mean, come on, with a good cartoon, why'd you cancel it? And the only redeeming shows in Nickelodeon these days are Fairly Odd Parents and SpongeBob, but those shows have both gone downhill and need to be canceled now before they get even worse. And they're the only ones that you should really watch on Nickelodeon now, because they're the only two old shows left on Nickelodeon, But some people feel Nickelodeon went down late 90s, but I felt like 2003 is where they started drawing the line. But anyway, Nickelodeon just completely sucks now, and their programming is just crap, and I really, really miss the old Nickelodeon. I really do.